Welcome to another episode of Tutorials with Ike. My name is Isaac Osafo Jr., the Vice President for the Association of Business Administration Students at UPSA and an aspirant for SRC President next year, hopefully. Now, today we're going to be looking at market structures and the economics of business. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and share. And let's get right into today's video. So, as I said, we're going to look at market structures, and it's a very important topic and the economics. It's a very likely topic to come for exam, so it's important that we take it very serious. Now, when we say market, what does it mean? I'm sure maybe the first thing that comes in your mind is, let's say, a place where there are some old women selling tomatoes and all that. But then market actually goes beyond that. Market is just an arrangement that gives room for buyers and sellers in exchange for goods and services. You get it? So anything that gives arrangements for buyers and sellers so that they can exchange goods and services. You get it? So even now, when you say market, it's not even only about a big place where there are old women selling and all that. Now we even have online shopping, Jumia and all that. They are all markets. You get it? So that's just market structure. So a system that gives room for buyers and sellers in order to exchange goods and services. That's what we define markets as under economics. Now, market structures just talk about the different types of markets or the different ways firms can operate in the market. You get it? And for this particular course, you're only going to talk about two types of market structures, which are the monopoly and the perfect competition. There are other ones like monopolistic competition, duopoly and all that, oligopoly and all that, but then it's not under our syllabus, so we are not going to look at that. You get it? Now we're going to talk about the monopoly and the perfect competition, and we'll start with the perfect competition. Now, what is perfect competition? Now, anytime you hear perfect competition, it means a market where there are many sellers. You get it? Where there are many sellers and many buyers as well. So the main thing that you have to know is that there are many sellers. You get it? So for monopoly as well, there's only one seller. You get it? But for perfect competition, there are many sellers. So we are starting with perfect competition. So I said, so please, this topic too is going to get a bit complex at some point. You get it? So please be taking notes, especially when we get to the diagrams as well. As I said, perfect competition is a type of market where there are many sellers and also they are selling the same type of products at the same price. I repeat, perfect competition is a market where there are many sellers and they are also selling the same type of products at the same price. Now, I'm sure you can think of any firms that are operating in perfect competition. So now let's look at some of the characteristics of a perfect competition. Now, the first one is that there are many sellers. So if it's tomatoes that they are selling or whatever, there are many. That's what you have to know. The second one is that they are selling the same type of products, or they are selling the same products. You get it? So it's not like it's customized or anything. If it's tomato, they are all selling tomato. If it's calculators, they are all selling calculators. If it's iPhone, they are all selling the iPhone, the same type. You get it? Now, if they are selling the same type of product, no one can increase their price. Now, if let's say right now the price of iPhone is 100 cedis and you sell the same iPhone, if it's let's say iPhone X and you sell it, let's say 120 cedis while everyone is selling 100 cedis, what will happen? No one will buy from you. You get it? So they have the same price. So the third one, the same price, or there's one price. Now the fourth one, we see the firm is a price taker. Why do we say the firm is a price taker? The firm is a price taker because there's one price, one same price. Once you increase the price, no one will buy from you. You get it? Because it's perfect competition. Remember, we said there are many sellers. And you can also add that there are many buyers. So many sellers and buyers. You get it? So there are many people buying and many people selling as well. So once you increase your price a little, just know that no one will buy from you. So now if we've all decided that the price of tomatoes is 100 cedis, once you want to sell tomatoes, you have to sell 100 cedis. So we say the firm is the price taker. He takes the price how it is. Now the next one is that you have free entry and free exits. So free entry and free exit. Now, when you say free entry and free exit, it means anyone can start or enter the market at any time, and you can also leave the market at any time. Why is that anyone can enter the market at any time? Because there are no restrictions. You get it? Now we will look at monopoly, but when it comes to monopoly, we have only one seller who is selling. You get it? Now, what monopolies do is that anytime they realize that there's a threat or someone is trying to enter their market, they can just reduce their prices so that no one will buy from you. And already the only person selling, you get it. And since they've been operating for a long time, they know how to operate in the market. You get it? But then when it comes to perfect competition, everyone is selling at the same price. You get it? So there's free entry and free exit. You can just enter. There are no barriers and all that. You get it? All right. So these are some of the characteristics of perfect competition. Now, the perfect competitor. Now, let me clean the board. Now, we said the perfect competitor or under perfect competition markets, you are selling at the same price, because if you increase your price, no one will buy from you. You get it? So if you have, let's say, the quantity and the price, if you are selling, it means if you sell one quantity, you have to sell it at the same price. If it's, let's say, 10 cedi, you are selling it, it's going to be 10 cedi. If you sell your second quantity, it's still going to be 10 cedi. Your third quantity, or you are selling for the third time, is going to be 10 cedi. You sell your fourth quantity, it's going to be 10 cedi. You sell your fifth quantity, it's going to be 10 cedi. So what have you noticed? If you even want to sell 1,000, you have to sell it at the same price. But it's not like that for the monopoly. So we'll look at that one soon. But for perfect competition, no matter the quantity you are selling, you have to sell it at the same price. The price never changes. Don't forget. Under perfect competition, the price never changes. Now we have our quantity and our price, or our output and our price. Now we can find for total revenue, right? From our previous videos, we said that total revenue is price times quantity. So if the firm wants to calculate its total revenue, if he's selling it as 10 cedis and he sold just one, it means his total revenue will be 10 cedis, which is 10 times 1. If he's selling it at 10 cedis too and he sold 2, his total revenue will be 10 times 2. So that is 20. If he's selling it as still 10 cedi and he sold 3, his total revenue will be 10 times 3, which is 30. If he's selling it for 10 cedi, still 10 cedi, and he sold 4 quantities, his total revenue will be 10 times 4, which is 40. And finally, if he's selling the fifth quantity for 10 cedis, it's going to be 5 times 10, which is 50. You get it? So now we found for our total revenue. We can also find for average revenue. So average revenue. From our previous videos from economics, we said that the formula for average revenue is the total revenue over the quantity or the output. So if you want to find for the average revenue for the first one to be our total revenue, which is 10, over the quantity, which is 1, that gives us 10. If you want to find for the average revenue for the second one, it will be our total revenue, which is 20, over the quantity, which is 2. So you're getting 20 over 2, and that will give us 10. If we want to find for the average revenue for the third quantity, it will be our total revenue, which is 30, over our quantity, which is 3. That will also give us 10. If we want to find for the next one, to be our total revenue, which is 40, over the quantity, which is 4, giving us 10. Then the fifth one is going to be 50 over 5, giving us 10. Now we can find for the marginal revenue too. And we said the formula for the marginal revenue is the change in total revenue over the change in quantity or output. I hope you've not forgotten. So it means if it's the change in total revenue, you want to assume that the previous revenue was 0. So it means it's going to be 10 minus 0 over 1 minus 0. That will give us 10. Now, if we want to find for the next marginal revenue, it's going to be the change in total revenue, which is 20 minus 10 over 2 minus 1. That will also give us 10. Now, the next one, if we want to find for the marginal revenue, it's going to be 30 minus 20 over 3 minus 2. That will also give us 10. Now, the next one is going to be 40 minus 30 over 4 minus 3. This will also give us 10. Then the last one is going to be 50 minus 40 over 5 minus 4, and this will give us 10. Now, no one will tell you to draw this table. I'm just using this table to illustrate something to you. The only thing I wanted to tell you is that under perfect competition. Now, what do you observe under the table? You realize that the price was 10 throughout, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. The average revenue too was 10 throughout, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. the marginal revenue too was 10 euros. And this is how it is for a perfect competitor. Your price, your average revenue, and your marginal revenue are always the same. So I just wanted to use this table to prove to you. You are not going to be asked to draw this. You get it? So the price, the average revenue, and the marginal revenue, you realize that they are the same values. And it's like that's for any market you're operating under the perfect competition. You get it? So now that we know that under perfect competition, our price, our average revenue, and our marginal revenue are the same. If we want to draw a sketch for the perfect competitor, it's going to be something like this. So this is just a sketch. Then here is your revenue or costs. Here you have revenue, so you can just make a revenue. Then here is your outputs or quantity. So your y-axis is your revenue or costs. That's if you want to draw marginal cost and all that. But this one is only revenue, so you can just make here revenue. Then here's your output or your quantity, which is this one. Now you realize that your price, the average revenue, and the marginal revenue are the same. And anytime you have revenue, you draw it on the y-axis, whether revenue or cost. So it means if, let's say this one like this, your price was 10. So let's put 10 somewhere here. So it means if you want to draw the line for price, you realize that at quantity is the line for quantity. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you realize that at output 1 or quantity 1, our price was 10. So it's going to be somewhere here. At quantity 2, our price was 10. So this quantity 2, our price was also 10. So it's going to be somewhere here. Our quantity 3, our price 2 was 10. So it's also going to be here. At quantity 4, our price is 10. It's going to be here. At quantity 5, our price is 10. So now if you rule the line, you realize you are going to get a straight line. Why? Because the price is the same. So the price is the same as the average revenue and the marginal revenue. So here is also the same as the average revenue and the marginal revenue. Please, I hope no one is confused. You get it? So this is how, if you see any diagram like this, then know that it is for perfect competition. So if you want to identify whether it's perfect competition, the price is equal to the marginal revenue and it's also equal to the average revenue. Get it? So this is the revenue or the cost. So you have the revenue and so you have the average revenue and the marginal revenue. Then this one, which is the x-axis, is the output or the quantity. So anytime you see something like this, just know you're talking about a perfect competitor or perfect competition market. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the types of profit the perfect competitor makes. And if they would ask you any question under market structure, it would come from this, the type of profits the perfect competitor makes or the monopolist makes. But mostly it comes from the profits, you get it. So now let me clean the board and explain that part. Alright, before I even explain the types of profits the perfect competitor makes, now just know this: at equilibrium, if you want to know if the perfect competitor is at equilibrium, or in case they ask you, you have to know this. The first one, so at equilibrium, that's for a perfect competitor. One, the marginal revenue has to be equal to the marginal cost. Then two, the marginal cost should be rising. So now if you want to identify the equilibrium point of a perfect competitor, these are the two things you have to know. First of all, the marginal revenue is equal to the marginal cost, and two, the marginal cost should be rising. So later on, when we draw the diagrams for the profits, you understand this better. But then there are three types of profits when it comes to market structures. We have the normal profits, supernormal profits, and subnormal profits. Now let me explain all of them. Now I'll start with the normal profits. Now, when we say a firm is making a normal profit, it means that he's just covering his cost. So if, let's say, his total cost is 10,000 cedis, he's making exactly 10,000 cedis. That's what it means. So the amount of money he's making is just covering his costs. You get the cost he incurs on production. That's normal profit. Now the second one, so please take note of this. You can write it down. Normal profit. He's just able to make money to cover his cost. Get it? He doesn't make more than his cost. If his cost is 100 cedis, he's making 100 cedis. Now the second type of profit is the supernormal profit. Now if you say the firm is making a supernormal profit, it means that he's making more money than his cost. You get it? So if his cost is 10,000, he can be making about 20,000. You get it? So the money he's making is more than his cost. Now the third one is the subnormal profit. That one is the same as loss. If a firm is making subnormal profit, it means he's making a loss. You get it? So that one, it means the cost is more than his profit, or he's incurring more in the production than his profit. You get than he's getting from his profit. Now I spoke about three profits: the normal profits, the supernormal profits, and the subnormal profits. And I told you that for the normal profit, it means he's just making the same amount as his cost. You get it? So if his cost is 10,000 cedis, then he's making 10,000 cedis. So for the normal profits, the firm's price is equal to the average costs. You get it? The average cost is how much you are incurring on the product. You get it? So averagely. So if let's say the product is 10 cedis and averagely you are incurring 10 cedis cost on the product, that's your average cost. So for the normal profits, don't forget the price is equal to the average cost. That's for the normal profit. The price is equal to the average cost. Now for the supernormal profits, we said that one, the price or your revenue is greater than your cost. You get it? Now you're making more profits. Like that's when like you're making a lot of money. So for the supernormal profits, your price is greater than the average cost. You get it? So maybe averagely you're incurring, let's say, 5 cedis cost on the product, and you're getting a revenue of, let's say, 10 cedis, or you're setting the price as 10 cedis. You get it? So it means how much you're making is more than the cost. So the price is greater than the average cost. You get it? Averagely how much you're incurring on the product. Then for the subnormal profit, obviously if this is equal to the average cost, if this is greater than the average cost, then obviously the price is less than the average cost, or the average cost is greater than the price. It means averagely how much you're incurring on that product is greater, or the cost is greater than the price. So maybe you incur, let's say, a cost of 10 cedis on the product. You get it, and you are selling the product for, let's say, 80 cedis. It means you are making a loss. You get it? So just put it in your mind. These are the three types of profits. You have the normal profit, supernormal profit, and the subnormal profit. So put this in your mind. For perfect competition in the short run, the firm makes either a normal profit, supernormal profit, or subnormal profit. Now that is just for the short run period, but for the long run, the firm only makes a normal profit. I repeat, under perfect competition markets, in the short run, the firm makes all these three types of profit. He can make any of this depending on the firm. So in the short run of a perfect competitor, he can make either the normal profit, the supernormal profit, or the subnormal profit. The subnormal profit is the same as the loss, you get it? But in the long run, he can only make a normal profit. Now, why is that so? Now, remember that we said that for a perfect competitor, there are many sellers. You get it? So there are lots of people selling. So what that means is that you can't just increase your prices anyhow. No one will buy from you. You get it? So under normal circumstances, most perfect competitors make a normal profit. What that means is that their price is equal to their average cost. You get it? So if let's say they are selling, let's say, the products for 10 cedis, it means the costs they are incurring is usually around 10 cedis, or is the same as 10 cedis. Why is that so? Now remember from the beginning we said that perfect competitors, there are many sellers. So it means there are many people that are in the market who are also selling the same type of product. So if let's say I enter the market and someone is selling something for 20 cedis, I'll just decide to sell mine for 19 cedis. You get it? So people will come and buy from me. And the person today is selling it as 20 cedis will also reduce his price. So people also come and buy from me. So people will end up reducing the price. Now they'll reduce the price to a certain point. Now that point is where it can only cover their cost. No one will reduce it below their cost because they are making a loss. You get it? So when they reduce the price, that's when it gets to the market price. You get it? So now if their price is the same as the cost, then it means they are making a normal profit. The price is the same as the average cost. You get it? Now there will be some other firms who would also make a supernormal profit in the short run. for perfect competitors. For example, if let's say we are all selling tomatoes, where I buy my tomatoes is different from where you buy your tomatoes. You get it? So maybe where I buy mine from is cheaper. Maybe I go to somewhere at Kumasi and I buy it in bulk for a very cheap price. Maybe you also go somewhere else that is more expensive. So at the end of the day, your cost will be more than mine. You get it? So there could be several other reasons why a perfect competitor can make a supernormal profit in the short run, where his price is greater than his cost or his average cost. And of course, he can also make a subnormal profit, which is the same as a loss in the short run as well. I mean, if he starts selling and it's not really moving, maybe a lot of people are selling around him or something, or maybe people don't just generally like the product, you are going to make a loss, you get it, which is the same as a subnormal profit. But then in the long run, you can't make a supernormal profit. So why is that in the long run, a perfect competitor can make a normal profit but not a supernormal profit? Now, in the long run, a lot of people join the market. When we say the long run, we're talking about so many years, you get it. So lots of people join the market, so it becomes very competitive. You get it. If people realize that the market is so good and you are making a lot, you are making a supernormal profit, so many people will join. When a lot of people join, then you realize that the price keeps going down because everyone wants them to buy from you. You get it. So go down to just your cost. You get it. So in the long run, just put it to your head. In the long run, they might ask you in section A, what type of profits does the perfect competitor make in the long run? He makes a normal profit, and he will most likely not make a loss in the long run too, or a subnormal profit in the long run, because if he was making a loss, he would have just stopped. You get it? But if he was able to continue, it means he was making a normal profit or a supernormal profit. But in the long run, you won't continue to make the supernormal profit because the competition becomes tight. So everyone is lowering their prices. So once again, just put in your head, in the short run, the perfect competitor can make the normal profits, supernormal profits, or subnormal profits. But in the long run, he only makes a normal profit. Put that in your head. Now let's go to how we can draw the types of profits. So let me write the profits here. So we spoke about, let me write them here. We spoke about normal profits, where we set for that one, your price is equal to your average cost. We spoke about supernormal profits, where we said for supernormal profits, your price is greater than your average cost. Then lastly, we spoke for subnormal profits, which is the same as the loss, where we said for that one, the price is less than the average cost. So these are the three types of profits. Now, as I said, in exams, they might let you draw some of the profits. And I'll start with how to draw the normal profits. In exams, if they're going to give you any question under market structures, or which is going to fall under perfect competition, it's going to be the profit. So please take this part very serious. And if you have a book, please draw with me. So now the normal profits, if you are drawing for the normal profits, you first draw your y-axis, then you draw your x-axis. You get it? So you draw your y-axis and your x-axis. Then I told you from the beginning that your y-axis represents the revenue. So let me write revenue or costs. Then the x-axis represents the outputs or the quantity. You get it? So that's the first thing you do. Now the second thing you do is that you remember from the beginning. So I hope you're taking notes. We said that for a perfect competitor, the price is equal to the marginal revenue, and it's also the same as the average revenue. Remember when we used 10 as an example in the beginning? I hope you've not forgotten, where I used the table and we found for the total revenue, the marginal revenue, and all that. And you realize that the price, the marginal revenue, and the average revenue are the same. So we drew a line something like this. Then this was the average revenue, which was the same as the marginal revenue. Then that one too was the price. So you wrote a line, the average revenue is equals to the marginal revenue, that is the price. You can write the price here, you can also write in. So this one you are drawing is for the normal profits, don't forget. So let me write here, normal profits. So this particular one that I'm drawing is for the normal profits. You get it? So after you draw the line for the average revenue, the marginal revenue, and the price, Then now the next thing you draw is the average cost curve. If you are drawing for a normal profit, you see that for the normal profit, the price is equal to the average cost. Don't forget, this is what shows that it's normal profit. The price is equal to the average cost. You get it? So the price and the average cost are the same. So it means that the minimum of the average cost curve should lie on the price. You get it? They have to be on the same line. So the next thing you do is that you draw the average cost curve in a way that the minimum will touch the price line, because the price is the same as the average cost. So you draw a curve like this. Then you make sure that the minimum, so this becomes our average cost. So you make sure that the minimum touches the price line, because the price is equal to the average cost. It's the minimum that shows the actual point of it. You get it? So this minimum has to touch the price line. You get it? Now the next thing you do is that you draw the marginal cost curve. The marginal cost curve. Now if you want to draw the marginal cost curve, a simple way to know how to draw it is that you draw it in a way that it will pass through the minimum of the average cost curve. Remember, this is the minimum of the average cost curve somewhere here. So you draw it in a way that you can do it somewhere, something like this. So it's going to pass through the minimum. This becomes the marginal cost curve. So you realize that we drew it in a way that it's passed through here, the minimum. You get it? So now we are drawing it. And I told you that under market structures, if you want to know when the firm is in equilibrium, it is when the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue. When the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue, and when the marginal cost is rising. I said this not long ago. I hope you guys have not forgotten. Please take note of this. If you want to know when the firm is in equilibrium, it's when the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue, and when the marginal cost is rising. Now, where is the marginal cost equal to the marginal revenue? This is the marginal costs, and this is the marginal revenue. So when the marginal cost equals the marginal revenue, that is here. Here too, the marginal cost is rising. You get it? So indirectly, this is the part. So now we've noted that this part is our equilibrium point. So if I want to find my equilibrium quantity, I just rule a line down. So this part is your equilibrium quantity when you rule it down. Then we said that for the normal profit, the price is equal to the average cost. You get it? So this same part, when you just rule it, you are getting the same thing as the price. So the price is the same as the average cost. So the average cost equals the price. And that is the same for the normal profits. You get it? So this is how it looks like. So this is for the normal profits. So please don't forget, you rule your y-axis, your x-axis, then you draw your line, which is for the price, the average revenue, the marginal revenue. It's the same line. It's parallel to that of the output line. You get it? Then you draw the average cost in such a way that the minimum of it will touch the price line or the average revenue or the marginal revenue line. You get it? Then lastly, you draw the marginal cost in such a way that it will pass through the minimum of the average cost. You get it? As simple as that. Now let's draw for the subnormal profit. So in case they ask you that, draw a diagram which shows the normal profits of a perfect competitor or anything like this, just do this, then you get your marks. You get it? Now let's do for the supernormal profits. So for the supernormal profits for the perfect competitor, we also draw our line like this. Then we draw our x-axis. So we draw our y-axis and our x-axis. Then here is the revenue or costs. Then here is our outputs or quantity. You get it? Then for the perfect competitor, whether normal, supernormal profit or subnormal profit, the price, the marginal revenue, and the average revenue are the same. So you draw your line, just draw a straight line. Then that is the marginal revenue or the average revenue, and it's the same as the price. You get it? Then now the next thing, as usual, we draw our average cost curve. But remember, for the supernormal profits, the price is greater than the average cost curve. Don't forget. So you have to know these three things: that normal profit, the price equals the average cost; the supernormal profit, the price is greater than the average cost; and the subnormal profit, the price is less than the average cost, before you be able to draw it very well, or else you might make a mistake. So now that we know that for the supernormal profit, the price is greater than the average cost, then it means that the minimum of the average cost has to go below the price. You get it? It's the minimum that we use to draw it. So it shows you where you should draw it. So just know that the price is greater than the average cost. In other words, the cost is below the price, or the average cost is below the price. If the price is greater, then the average cost is less than the price. So since it's less than the price, it's below the price line. You get it? So you draw average cost below the price line. So that you draw it in such a way that the minimum will be below the price line. So you are getting something like this. You get it? So we are getting something like this. This is our average costs. You get it? So this one, you realize that the minimum is below the price because the average cost is less than the price, and the price has to be greater than it. So it's the minimum that shows you where you should draw it. You get it? So for the normal profit, the price was the same as the average cost. That's why we drew it in such a way that the minimum was directly on the price line. But this time, since the average cost is less than the price, or the price is greater, you have to draw the average cost below. You get it? Then after you draw the average cost, the next thing that you draw the marginal cost. And always the marginal cost, you draw it in such a way that it passes through the minimum of the average cost. Any type of profit, you get it? So you draw the marginal cost in a way that it passes through. The minimum is somewhere here. It passes through here. You get it? Then this is our marginal cost. Do you get it? So just draw the marginal cost in such a way that it will pass through the minimum of the average cost. This is the average cost, this is the minimum. The minimum is somewhere here. This is just a sketch. You can just draw it anyhow. You get it? And remember, we said for the perfect competitor, if you want to know where it is in equilibrium, the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue. Then 2, the marginal cost is rising. So you look at 1, where the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue, and where the marginal cost is rising. So where the marginal cost equals the marginal revenue, or where they intercept. This is the marginal cost, this is the marginal revenue. So they intersect here. I hope you are seeing the marginal cost, marginal revenue. This is where they intersect. So this is the equilibrium point. You can write E to show it. Now please take note of this. First, for the first one, the price was equal to the average cost. So it was the same line. But this time, the average cost is less, or the price is greater. So it means the average cost is going to be down. So if you want to find for the average cost, watch this. This is the equilibrium. You rule a line down to touch the average cost line. You get it? This is the average cost line. You rule a line to touch it. When it touches it, then you rule a line to come to this side. You get it? So to the left until it touches the y-axis. Now that side is your average costs. I hope you are taking note of that. So you realize that from here to the price is greater than from here to here. And that's for the supernormal profit. The price is greater than the average cost. So we are on point. Now, this part is called your profit. So this part you see here is your profit. So in case they ask you which part is the profit, this part, this triangle, is your profits. You get it? So don't forget, after you find the equilibrium point, you rule a line down. When it touches the average cost, then you rule a line to the left for it to touch this line. And that becomes your average cost. That's why you say revenue or cost. So because we join both the average revenue and the marginal revenue. So please don't forget, this is how you go about it. So we already established that this is our equilibrium. So if you just rule the line down from here to here, here becomes our equilibrium quantity. You can just represent it as EQ. So when you just rule the line to down, you just get the equilibrium quantity. And here is our equilibrium price, obviously. You get it? So please take note of this. Now let's move on to the last one, which is the subnormal profits. Okay, so in drawing the diagram for the subnormal profits, as usual, we'll draw our y-axis, then we draw our x-axis. So here is our revenue or costs. Here's our quantity or our outputs. You get it? Then we rule our straight line to be our marginal revenue which is the same as our average revenue and the price as well. Then we first draw our average cost. So you ask yourself, this time the price is less than the average cost. You get it? So it means the average cost is greater than the price. So you draw it at the top. You get it? Watch here, the average cost is greater than the price. This is the price, it's greater than it. So the minimum of the average cost has to be above. You get it? First, when the price was greater than the average cost, we drew the average cost below. But this time, we drew it in such a way that the minimum will be below. But this time, the average cost is greater than the price. So it has to be at the top. You get it? So it's going to be something like this. You get it? So you're getting something like this. Then this is your average costs. Then always you draw the marginal cost in such a way that it will pass through the minimum of the average cost. So the marginal cost is going to be something like this. Then here is your marginal cost. Now we said if you want to know when the firm is in equilibrium, you look for when marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost and when marginal cost is rising. So this is the marginal cost here. This is the marginal revenue. So marginal cost is here. And this is where it catches the marginal revenue, this side. So please be drawing with me so that you not get confused. So this is the equilibrium point because marginal cost is rising, you get it? So here is our equilibrium. So this part, so if you want to find for the average cost, you rule a line to the top to touch the average cost line. When it touches the line, then rule it to the left to touch the y-axis. That point is your average cost. So what have you noticed? You realize that from here to here is the price, and that part is smaller than from here to here. So the average cost is greater than the price, or the price is less than the average cost, which is the same as here. You get it? So this point as well is the loss. So this is how you draw for subnormal profits. So it's as simple as that. You get it? Now take note of this. If you're a perfect competitor and you're making a loss, it doesn't mean you should shut down. If you are creating a business and you're making a loss, it doesn't mean you should shut down. So now the question is, when should a perfect competitor shut down and when should he not shut down? Now from our previous video on cost analysis, we said that for cost, there are two types. You have variable cost and fixed cost. You get it? So fixed costs are things like buildings, machines, rent, and all that. For those ones, they take a lot of time before you recover them. You get it? So if you build something, you're not expecting to get the money in like months or even a year. It could take so many years, sometimes even about 20 years, you get it, before you be able to recover the money. So if you're unable to cover for those costs in the initial stage, there's nothing wrong with that. After some time, you'd surely be able to recover them. So that's for the fixed costs. On the other hand, we have variable costs. So those are things like maybe salaries for the temporal workers and all that, those who are working there for a short period of time. Now those workers, even though you are making a loss, at least you should be able to pay them. You get it? If you're not able to pay them, they are supposed to shut down. But if you're able to pay for your temporary costs, such as your workers and all that, then market structures is saying that you should continue to produce. So all what I'm trying to say is that if you are making a loss and you want to know whether you should continue producing, you have to check your average variable costs. You have to check your average variable cost. So there are going to be two situations when you check your average variable cost. It is either your average variable cost is greater than your price or your average variable cost is less than your price. So as I was saying, if a firm is making a loss or a subnormal profit, it's either one of these two. Either his average variable cost is greater than his price or his average variable cost is less than his price. If his average variable cost is greater than his price, it means the cost is higher, the average variable cost is higher. So it means he can't even take care of things like the salaries, those temporal costs, you get it. Things like giving funding for the business, like cleaning the place, that you can't take care of any of all that. But if his average variable cost is less than his price, it means he can take care of those things. But the things that he can't take care of as of now are the buildings and all that. So now market structures is saying that if the average variable cost is greater than the price, then he should shut down. You get it? He should shut down. If the average variable cost is greater than the price, he should shut down. But if the average variable cost is less than the price, then he should not shut down. So you should not shut down. You get it? So why should he shut down if the average variable cost is greater than the price? Because if the average variable cost is greater than the price, it means that he can't even fund for the basic things. So the business cannot continue. Where is he going to get the money from? But if the average variable cost is less than the price, it means that you can fund for the little things. You get to start, the business can still continue for the time being. Now let's take this diagram as an example. We already drew this as the subnormal profit. You get it, but we didn't talk about the average variable cost. So sometimes they can ask you that draw a diagram showing where the perfect competitor is making a loss but should not shut down, or in what case should the perfect competitor be making a loss but should not shut down. So you go ahead and say that when the average variable cost is less than the price, then you should not shut down. You get it? So let's talk about when it should not shut down. So when the average variable cost is less than the price. So now let's take this as an example. We already drew this as the loss. So now if the average variable cost is less than the price, it means you can take care of the basic things. You get the set of salaries and all that. Now if you want to draw the diagram for it, so now you've drawn for the marginal cost, the average cost. So you just add the one for the average variable cost. So that one is less than the price, so it's below the price. So the minimum will be below the price. So it will be something like this. So it starts from somewhere here. You get it? Then draw it to somewhere like this. Now when you draw it, this is your average variable cost, the line you just drew. Now after you draw it, you look for the equilibrium point, which is here. Then you roll it down to touch the average variable cost line. You get it? Then you rule a line to the left. Then that becomes your average variable cost. You get it? So at the equilibrium point, just rule a line down to touch the average variable cost. It will just be a small portion. I mean, it's not really long. You get it? Then you roll it to the left, then that'll be your average variable cost. So you realize that for this one, even though the firm is making a loss, that means his average cost is greater than the price, but his price is also greater than the average variable cost. Yes, the price is above the average variable cost. So in a situation like this, it means the firm should not shut down. Do you get it? The firm should not shut down because you can take care of the basic things. You get it? But assuming his average variable cost was greater, it means he can't even take care of the basic things. So you should shut down. So in case they ask you a question, so in what instance should the firm not shut down? Then this is how you draw for it. Now let's draw for when the firm should shut down as well. So in case they ask you that, in what instance should the firm shut down or the perfect competitor shut down? And let's draw for it. So you just draw this one for the subnormal profits like the previous one. Then we draw our line here. And that's our marginal revenue or average revenue, which is the same as price. And here's the revenue or the cost. Here's the quantity, right? Then we are drawing for the subnormal profit, the loss. That one is the general one. So you said for that one, the average cost is greater than the profit. So the average cost is here. This is the average cost. Then draw the marginal cost to cut the minimum of the average cost. So this is marginal cost. It cuts the minimum of the average cost. Then where the marginal cost cuts the MR, which is here, it's our equilibrium point. Then you can rule a line to the top. Where it touches the AC, then you rule a line to the left. That's your average cost. You get it? Now that you've got your average cost, this one you are seeing the shutdown point. And I said that's when the average variable cost is also greater than the price. You get it? But the average variable cost can obviously not be greater than the average cost. So you draw it somewhere here. But it has to be above the price. The minimum has to be above the price. So it's going to be something like this. So you draw it in a way that as it's rising, it gets closer to the average cost, but they don't meet. So for the average variable cost, so for the first one, like this one I was drawing for the one that wouldn't shut down, you realize I drew it in a way that it was getting close to the average cost, but it didn't meet to get it. So you draw the line below it. So here, then you go to the equilibrium point, which is here. Then you rule a line to the top. Then you also rule a line to the left. Then you get your average variable cost. You get it? So now you realize that the average cost is greater than the price. The average variable cost is also greater than the price. It means all your costs are greater than the price. You get it? So it means you can't even fund the business. You can't continue funding. So if you have something like this, it means that the firm should shut down. You get it? So this is the equilibrium. So when you rule the line, you get the equilibrium quantity and all that. Then this is the equilibrium price. You get it? But then since the average variable cost is greater than the price, then we say the firm should shut down. So in case they ask you when should the firm shut down, this is how you do it. After you draw the average cost, then you draw the average variable cost above the price as well, but below the average cost. So a line below it starting from here, then rule it, you get it closer to the average cost. then you do it like that. So this is when the firm should shut down. I hope no one is confused. So now I told you that, so this for the short run. So I think that for the short run, the previous competitor makes the normal, supernormal, or subnormal profit or the loss, like this one. So in case they ask you for any of them, then you know how to go about it. But in the long run, I told you that the previous competitor makes a normal profit. You already drew for normal profit, so the same thing you draw in case they ask you. So having understood that you are done with perfect competition, so you are going to move on to monopoly now. Alright, so now we're going to move on to monopoly, which is like the opposites of the perfect competitor, still under market structures. If you've been able to stay till now, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much. So now monopoly. So you spoke about the perfect competition, and the perfect competition, we said for that one there are many sellers and many buyers as well. But for monopoly, you have only one person who is selling the product. You get it? So monopoly is a type of market where there's only one seller. That's the key word. There's only one seller, but there are many buyers and there are no substitutes at all. So meaning there are no similar products. If you're selling this product, no one is selling anything similar to that. You get it? And for that one too, like this, let's assume that there's a sickness that comes, maybe a very deadly disease, and I find a cure to it, and I'm the only person who knows about it. What do you think I'll do? I'll sell it at a price I want to get it. So for monopolies, they usually increase the price to the one that gives them the most profits because they can control the price. You get it? So now let's look at some of the characteristics of the monopoly. The first one is that he is the only seller, or you have only one seller. The second one is that there are no close substitutes. And because he's the only seller and there are no close substitutes, he can determine the price. He determines what price he should sell it. So he's the price maker. Remember, for perfect competition, we said that you are the price taker because there are so many people selling. So any price that the consumers are going to pay, you have to sell it that price. But then this time he's the price maker because he's the only person selling it. You get it? Now the fourth one, there are barriers to entry, or we can say no free entry. No free entry or free exits. So you can just say no free entry because if you can't enter, you obviously cannot exit it as well. So why is that there's no free entry? Now, this is what monopolies usually do. Let's assume I'm the only one who is having, let's say, a particular airline. You get it? Maybe in the world, I'm the only one who is having a particular airline. And I realize that a new airline is coming and it's a threat to me. What most monopolies do is that to intentionally reduce their prices so that yours will fail. And if I reduce my price and it's cheaper than yours, obviously people will come to me. So your business is going to end up failing. Do you get it? So because of that, there's no free entry. You can't just enter it like that. You get it? Because the monopolists can just do something that would make your business collapse. Besides, they've been in it for a very long time, so they know the strategies to use. You get it? So there's no free entry or free exit. So you can't just enter the market like that. Apart from that, the cost will be very high and all that as compared to them that have been in it for a very long time. Get it? So there's no free entry or free exit. Now the next one, under monopoly, he controls the number of outputs sold, or the number of quantities sold. Since he's the only person who is selling, he controls the number of quantities he wants to sell. So since he's the only one selling it, he has total control over the commodity. You get it? So if he wants to sell more, the only thing is that he has to reduce the prices and people buy a lot. You get it? Remember, he's the price maker. You get it? So he doesn't do both of them at the same time. If he wants to sell more, or he wants the quantity to go out, or people to buy it a lot, he will just reduce the price. Once he reduces the price, from the law of demand, the lower the price of the commodity, the higher the demand. You get it? So once he reduces the price, people will start buying. You get it? If he also doesn't want people to buy a lot, he wants it to be scarce, you just increase the price, people will stop buying. So since he can control the output sold, if he wants people to buy a lot, he can just reduce the price. You get it? Then people will buy a lot. So if you have, let's say, the price and quantity. So if it's, let's say, selling one quantity, you can sell it for 10 cedis. If he wants more people to buy, or he wants to sell two, you can just reduce it to 8 cedis since it's the price maker. So now if you want to sell more by producing 3 quantities, you just reduce the price so that people will buy more. So from 8 cedis, you can reduce it to 6 cedis. And if you want to sell more again, so if you want to sell 4, you can just reduce the price again to 4 cedis. You get it, so that people will keep on buying. So for the monopolist, he controls the price. So if he just wants more people to buy, he just has to reduce the price and a lot of people will buy. It's unlike the perfect competition where down you have no control over the price. You get it. This one you can control the price. So now we have our price and quantity. If you want to find for our total revenue, we know our total revenue is price times quantity. So for the first one, our total revenue is 10 times 1, which should be 10. Then the second one, our total revenue is our price times quantity, which is 8 times 2, and that will give us 16. For the third one, our total revenue is price times quantity, which is 6 times 3, that will give us 18. And for the last one, our total revenue is still price times quantity, which is 4 times 4, that will give us 16. Now we found for our total revenue. You can also find for average revenue. What is average revenue? You know the formula for it, right? Total revenue over quantity. So average revenue, the first one is going to be 10 over 1. That will give us 10. The second one is going to be 16 over 2. That will give us 8. The third one is going to be 18 over 3. That will give us 6. Then the last one is going to be 16 over 4. That will give us 4. You get it. So now that you found for our average revenue, you can also find for our marginal revenue. In our marginal revenue, the formula is the change in the total revenue over the change in quantity, right? So if you want to assume that the previous one, which is the one before the first one, is 0, our total revenue or our marginal revenue for the first one is going to be 10 minus 0 over 1 minus 0, and that will give us 10. Then the next one, the change in total revenue, which is the 16 minus 10, then over the change in quantity, which is 2 minus 1, will give us, so 16 minus 10 will give us 6. Then over 2 minus 1, which is 1, so the same thing. Then the next one, 18 minus 16 will give us 2. Then the next one, 16 minus 18 will give us negative 2. Alright, so from this, what have we observed? We observed that the price is the same as the average revenue, which is 10, 10, 8, 8, 6, 6, 4, 4. So the price is the same as the average revenue. But look at the marginal revenue. We had 10, but when it started increasing, it reduced to 6, it reduced to 2, it reduced to negative 2. So you realize that as it was increasing, the values were going down, and they are even lower than that of the average revenue and the price. You realize that this one from 10 it went to 8, but this one it went to 6, so it even went below the 8. This one it went to 2, which is below the 6, and it went to negative 2, which is less than the 4. So that one is less, so the price is the same as the average revenue, but the average revenue is also greater than the marginal revenue. So the marginal revenue is less than the average revenue as output keeps increasing. You get it? So the average revenue, you realize that the values are greater than the marginal revenue as output keeps increasing. So here 8, 6, 8 is greater. Here 6, 2, 6 is greater. Here 4, negative 2, 4 is greater. You get it? And the price is the same as the average revenue. So the price and the average revenue are greater than the marginal revenue, which is the same as this. So if you see anything like this, price is equal to average revenue is greater than marginal revenue, they can ask you in section A, which type of market is this? Just know that it's a monopoly market. You get it? So for the monopoly market, the price is equal to the average revenue, but it's not the same as the marginal revenue. But for the perfect competitor, the price is equal to the average revenue, which is the same as the marginal revenue. You get it? Alright. Now if I want to draw, let me clean this part. If I want to draw a graph for what I just did, I'm going to get something like this. Then here is our revenue or costs, and here as usual, output or quantity. You get it? Now for the quantity or the output, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then for the revenue or the cost, so you only draw for the average revenue and the marginal revenue. You don't draw anything for the total revenue. So for the average revenue and the marginal revenue, you can do it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if you have something like 2, 4, 6, 8, then 10. So now let's draw for the marginal revenue first. So for the marginal revenue is the last one. So for the marginal revenue, when output was 1, marginal revenue was 10. So this is output 1. The marginal revenue was 10. So it's going to be somewhere here. Then at output 2, marginal revenue was 6. So output 2, marginal revenue was 6, which is going to be somewhere here. Then at output 3, marginal revenue is 2. So output 3, marginal revenue is 2, which is going to be somewhere here. Then at output 4, marginal revenue is negative 2. So that is even below the line. You get it? So negative 2, so output 4. Marginal revenue, output 4, marginal revenue is even below. So you are getting something like here is below the line. Get it? So now you're done with that of the marginal revenue. Let's draw for that of average revenue. So if you want to draw a line to connect it, we'll be getting something like this. You get it? So it's supposed to be straight, but because it's not drawn to scale, that's why we're getting something like this. You get it? Now let's go to the average revenue. So for average revenue, for output 1, average revenue is 10. So it's also the same as here. You get it? So this for average revenue. Then output 2, our average revenue is 8. So output 2, average revenue is 8. You get it? So it's going to be somewhere here. Then output 3, average revenue is 6. So output 3, average revenue is 6. It's going to be somewhere here. Then output 4, average revenue is 4. So output 4, average revenue is 4, which is going to be somewhere here. So if you want to draw the line, it's going to be something like this. You get it? So usually if you see anything like this, just know that they are talking about monopoly. Get it? I just wanted to show you how the monopoly looks like, so that when you start drawing the diagrams for the profits, you understand. Alright, now let me clean the board and let's start with the profits. So for the profits to the monopoly, you also have the normal profits, supernormal profits, and subnormal profits. So it's just like the first one. The normal profits is when the price, this time the price is the same as the average revenue. So when the price is equal to the average cost, then the supernormal profit is when the price or the average revenue is greater than the average cost. Then the subnormal profit when the price, which is the same as the average revenue, is less than the average cost. So similar to that of a perfect competitor, for the monopoly as well, in the short run, you are either going to make a supernormal profit, normal profit, or subnormal profit. But in most cases, you are going to make a supernormal profit in the short run and the long run as well. Since you are the only one producing it, people will come to you, you get it alone. So in most cases, in the short run, you are going to make a supernormal profit. In the long run, so you make a supernormal profit. But then there can be some few cases where I'm making the normal profit. If let's say you start a company or something, I mean, you just built it, you get it. So you might not be able to recover for all the costs and all that. So in those cases, you might make a normal profit or a subnormal profit. That's for the short run. But for the long run, the monopolist always makes a supernormal profit. So please put this in your head. For a perfect competitor and a monopolist, for both of them, in the short run, they can make either the normal profit, supernormal profit, or the subnormal profit. But in the long run, for the perfect competitor, he makes a normal profit. But for the monopolist in the long run, he makes a supernormal profit. So please put this in your head. Alright. So now let's draw the supernormal profit first. I want to show you something. So let's draw for the supernormal profit. So anytime you are drawing for monopoly, you just start with your y-axis, then you draw your x-axis, you get it. So here is still our revenue or costs, then here's our quantity or output, so our output or quantity. So just like the first one, you realize that the marginal revenue was going below. So the marginal revenue was going below the output line. It was a negative, so always it will go below. So here's the marginal revenue. So always when you draw the line from the top to the down, make sure it comes below the x-axis. Since it's a negative, then you draw the other line like this. and that one is the average revenue. You get it? So that one doesn't get to the negative. So it's just similar to the first one we drew. And we said the average revenue is the same as the price for the perfect competitor. The average revenue is the same as the price, but it's greater than the marginal revenue. Right, so after you are done, then you now draw for the line, the curve for the average cost. And we said that you are drawing for the supernormal profit. So let me write here supernormal profits. So we'll draw for the supernormal profits. Then we'll go to the normal profits and the subnormal profits as well. So this is for the supernormal profits. And instead for the supernormal profits, which is here, the second one, the average revenue or the price is greater than the average cost. So the average cost is less than the price or the average revenue. This is the average revenue. So you have to draw the average cost in a way that the minimum will be less than the price or the minimum will be below the price. You get it? So in drawing the average cost, it has to come here below here. So you can draw it something like this. Then this will be your average cost. So you realize that the minimum is below the price line. You get it? So that's for the average cost. Then you can now draw for the marginal cost. So you draw the marginal cost in a way that it will cut the minimum of the average cost. So if our minimum is somewhere here, you have to draw the marginal cost in such a way that it will cut it. You get it? So that's how you do it. So you draw the marginal cost in such a way that it will pass through the minimum of the average cost. Do you get it? So now that you've drawn it, now we can find the equilibrium point. So for this one as well, the equilibrium is where the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue and when the marginal cost is rising. So this is the marginal cost. This is the marginal revenue. So you look for the intersection, marginal cost and marginal revenue, and they intersect somewhere here. You get it? So this part is the equilibrium point. So you can just put E there to show that it's the equilibrium point. So now if you want to find for the equilibrium price, you can rule a line to the top. Then you rule it to the left as well. Then here is the equilibrium price. You get it? Then you can also draw a line to the down. And this will give you the equilibrium quantity or the equilibrium output. Then if you want to find for the average cost, this is the average cost line. This is the equilibrium. So this is the line. So you draw a line to the top slightly. Then where the average cost is, you draw it to the left. Then here becomes your average cost. You get it? So from the equilibrium, when you choose the average cost by drawing it slightly to the top, then you draw it to the left. That's your average cost. You get it? So when you draw it, you realize that the price is greater than that of the average cost. You get it? So this is the supernormal profit. So in case they ask you to draw the supernormal profit of a monopoly, this is how you draw it. Or they ask you what type of profit does the monopolist make in the long run and use a diagram to explain it. This is how you draw it. So just know that the monopolist makes a supernormal profit in the long run. You get it? But you can make any of these three profits in the short run. So depending on the one the question asks. Now let's draw for that of the normal profit as well. Alright. Okay, so enjoy for the normal profit. So let me write at the top. Normal profits. So you first draw our y-axis and our x-axis as well. So here's our revenue or costs, and here's our outputs or quantity. Then we can draw the lines for the marginal revenue and the average revenue. So draw this line for the marginal revenue. So it has to come below the x-axis. Then as usual here for the average revenue. You get it? So now that we are done, we can draw the average cost. And I told you that for this one, or it's even on the board, for the normal profit, the average revenue or the price is equal to the average cost. So the average revenue is the same as the price. Do you get it? That's for the monopoly. That's why I put P into brackets. Average revenue is the same as the price. So after you draw the average revenue or the price and the marginal revenue, just know that for the normal profit, the average revenue or the price is equal to the average cost. You get it? So this time what you are going to do is that you have to draw the average cost in a way that a part of it will touch the average revenue or the price. You get it? You have to draw it in a way that a part, not necessarily the minimum. You get it? So not the minimum, but a part of it. Please keep in your head, not the minimum, but a part of it. So if you are drawing the average cost, it's going to be, so you just start from the top. Just make sure that a part of it touches it, then that's all. Then this is your average cost. So you realize that it wasn't necessarily the minimum, but it was just a part of it. So it just has to touch the average revenue or the price. That's all. So don't put your head at the minimum. So just for the normal profit for the monopoly, just draw it in a way that a part of it will touch the average cost. Do you get it? Now the next thing you do is that so you realize that there's a portion of here that touches the AR. So there's a portion of the average cost that touches the AR. Now that portion, you rule a line to come down. You get it? So you rule a line for it to come down. Now after that, the next thing you do is that you draw the MC in such a way that now there are 2 points here. After you do the line, you realize that you have this point and this point. You get it? So take note of these 2 points. Now you draw the MC in such a way that it will pass through this point, which is the second one, where the marginal revenue and the line meet. So where the marginal revenue cuts that line you just drew, which is the second one here. You draw the marginal cost in such a way that will pass through this side. So it's going to be something like this. It has to pass through here. You get it? So this becomes your marginal cost. So you draw a line to pass through this particular line. Do you get it? Then that becomes your marginal costs. So in ruling the line for the marginal cost, you have to make sure it passes through the minimum of the average cost, just like we've been doing. Now that we've drawn the marginal cost line, we know that if you want to find the equilibrium point, it is where the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue and where marginal cost is rising. So where is marginal cost equal to marginal revenue? This is marginal cost, this is marginal revenue. So at this point, that's when the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue. You get it? So now if you want to find for equilibrium price, you just rule a line to the top, which is this part, the line here. And this is the price line or the average revenue line. Then you rule to the left. Then that is our equilibrium price. So our price, so that is our price, right? And our price is the same as the average cost. You get this? Our price or the average revenue is the same as the average cost. So this is the same as the average cost. You get it? Then from here, when we rule it down, you're already getting equilibrium quantity. You get it? So this is how you draw for the normal profits for a monopolist. You get it? So this is how you go about it. Right, so that's how we draw the normal profits for the monopoly. Now let's go to the last one, which is the subnormal profits for the monopolist as well. So as usual, draw your y-axis and your x-axis as well. Then here is the revenue or the costs. Then here is your outputs or your quantity. Then you draw the marginal revenue. You make sure it comes below the line. Then you draw your average revenue as well. So we said for the subnormal profits, the average cost is greater than the price, or the price is less than the average cost. So if the average cost is greater than the price, it means you have to draw it in such a way that the minimum will be above the average revenue or the price. The average revenue is the same as the price. And so we can do something like this. You get it? So this is our average cost. You get it? Profit. We draw the marginal cost such that it cuts the minimum of the AC. You get it? So this is our marginal costs. So this is our marginal cost. And we know where the equilibrium is, where the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue. So this is where they meet. You get it? So this is our equilibrium point. So now that we've identified our equilibrium points, we can draw a line to the top. You get it? And this is where it touches the average revenue or the price. You draw a line to the left. You get it? Then that becomes our price or our equilibrium price. You get it? Also draw a line to the down. This becomes the equilibrium quantity. Then we can find the average cost by drawing a line to the top. It touches the average cost. You get it? So after it touches the average cost line, you can draw it to the left to get our average costs. You get it? So you realize that the average cost is greater than the price, which is the same as that of the subnormal profit. This is how the diagram will look like for the subnormal profit of a monopolist. So yes, we are done with all the diagrams. So in case they'll ask you a question, the questions usually come on perfect competition, but They can also count for subnormal profit. So please do your best to rehearse how to draw the diagrams and all that. And I hope you've understood everything we've done from the beginning till now. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. See you in the next video.